Mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all well and I hope you're having a great day. So if you hadn't guessed, in today's video I'm painting the engine bay and it's come out really well. So the paint I'm using today is from a company called Jowl Paints. They do kits. You get like a 1 litre kit, a 5 litre kit, 2.5 litre kit. The kit I bought makes about half a litre of paint. They're 250ml tins, but because you mix it 1:1 for the base coat, you get about 500ml, and the lacquers mix 2:1 plus 10% thinners, so you actually get about 700ml of lacquer. But that was just about enough to get the engine bay done. I used pretty much every drop, so only word of warning there, if it's your first time and you want to practice or you maybe mess it up, it might be worth getting a little bit more paint just in case. But for me, it come out all right first time. I didn't make any mess ups. I did stick my finger in the paint here and there, and accidentally when I was moving the car around where the paint wasn't quite dry. The only other thing I used was some high build primer filler. This was donated by Mark, so there's about 2 litres in there. So I used primer filler before the base coat and lacquer went on. But yeah, this kit from Jowl Paints works out about 40 quid. And yeah, I think it's potentially cheaper than doing it in rattle cans, because I reckon rattle cans it would be 3 cans of base and 3 cans of clear coat. So yeah, I reckon it would be more in rattle cans, probably 50-60 quid. But it went really well. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch up with you a little bit later. Cheers. Right, so last week we done the lower half of the bulkhead, the tailboard, the inner wings in the tintable Raptor. Really pleased with how that's turned out. Good product that is. This week we're going to paint the inner wings, top half of the bulkhead in body colour. So I need to do a bit more prep, need to get it masked up. This is just in epoxy primer at the moment. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to give it a few coats of filler primer before we go into putting the actual body colour on there. So first job today will be filler primer. I don't really do spraying, although I do seem to have amassed a few guns now. So when it comes to doing the actual body colour and the lacquer, we'll be doing it in the DeVilbiss Pro Light GTI. Really nice paint gun. That was donated by a subscriber of the channel. I can't remember his name now, so I do apologise. So that's getting used again. Use that to paint the budget restoration with Project Bruce. Got a brilliant finish. I've also got just a cheap Sealy gun, which I've used for other bits, and I needed to buy. So for this filler primer, it recommends a 1.6 to a 1.8mm tip on your spray gun. I don't have it in DeVilbiss. I could have bought one, but it was like, I'm sure it was over 100 quid for a 1.8mm tip. So because it's only primer, I just went out and bought a complete new gun. It was 25 quid and come with 1.4, 1.7 and 2mm tips. Now it may not be, and certainly won't be, the best spray gun, but we're only spraying on filler primer and it will get flatted back anyway. So I need to get on with the masking. I'm using this is Mark's paint extractor. It's called a Spray Mate. It moves a lot of air, that does. Yeah, it moves a lot of air, so that'll make sure we don't get, hopefully it'll cut down the dust in here a bit. But yeah, let me stop talking and get on with getting this masked up. Right then, sorry about the compressor hissing. I've got a leak, I need to sort that out. But it's all masked up now. It took flipping ages, to be honest. It's all masked up, cleaned up, degreased. I've just got to get some filler primer on now. So I'll probably do 2 or 3 coats. Trying to look. So on the side, so mixing ratio 4:1, we'll add 10%. thinners as well. We're going to use a 1.7mm tip, I think. Yep, 1.7mm. It's 5 to 10 minutes to flash off. Yeah, let's get 2 to 3 coats on. Obviously, the finish under the bonnet is not mega important. All of that top half will be covered by the insulation anyway, but I want to make it look reasonably tidy. We'll get the extractor on, get masked up, get it done. I'll be back in a moment. Right, so that's the filler primer on there now. Went on alright. It's a bit gloopy, to thin it down a bit, and the nozzle did clog up on the spray guns. A 1.7 nozzle. Maybe could have done with being, well, it says 1.6 to 1.8. But maybe I didn't thin it down enough. It's a messy job though, but it's gone on alright. Just got to let it dry now. There's a few bits of crud in the paint, but that's no problem. We'll just let that dry, give it a bit of a rub down. I'm not going to go too mad, it's under the bonnet, and then we'll get the colour on. Right, that's had 4 hours to dry now. It's about 22, 23 degrees today. I've just gone over and I've just wet flatted it. It's not gone mad at all, to be honest. It's underneath the bonnet, so just gave it a bit of a wet flat, more just for a bit of a key for the base coat. So I'm going to leave this bit unmasked when it comes to doing, although this is done in colour coded Raptor, I don't mind whether a bit of spray gets on there. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be body coloured now. So adding a bit of lacquer on that might just shine that up, and I don't want it to look different, the bottom half of the bulkhead. So yeah, I'll probably blow a little bit over that as well. So we are using paint from Jowl Paints. It's polyester base coat, and we're going to mix that. The mixture is 50-50 basically, 50-50 with thinners. And we'll get probably 2 or 3 coats on there, and then we'll do the lacquer afterwards. So I'll see you in a minute, and it should be in base coat. There you go, we're in base coat. I could have probably done with a bit more paint. Well, I say paint, I'm worried about running out of thinners. I've got enough on there though. That was sort of 2 to 3 coats. The only bit is it's a bit dry up the top, but I mean that is under the skull, to be honest, so you know, I'm being too much of a perfectionist, I think. I mean, all of this you won't see anyway because it'll have bulkhead insulation on. So now we've got to get the clear coat on, and that'll be done in the snap of a finger. And there we go, all done. Looks fantastic. It's come out really well. A couple of little sags here and there, but you do tend to get them when you've got lots of holes like this, because it gives the paint sort of an area to collect in, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It looks super shiny, as it always does when you've just painted a car. I'm glad I've done that bottom half of the bulkhead there over the Raptor, because that just looks a lot better now. It's shiny. It would have looked odd otherwise, because the bottom half would have been dull matte finish and the top half would have been shiny lacquered. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how that's gone. Obviously all of this top half will be under the bulkhead insulation anyway. We've done the back of that front panel there as well. which you won't see most of this stuff. It's mainly sort of the inner wings that you see. But yeah, looks fantastic. Really pleased with that. Got it all done in one day. Yeah. Thanks for watching this week. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you want to, and if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. I'll catch you again next week.